Section 1. Introduction. Understanding nationalism. Nationalism is a complex and multifaceted concept that has played a significant role in shaping the modern world. It is a political, social, and cultural phenomenon that binds people together through a shared sense of identity and purpose. Nationalism is a powerful feeling. It evokes a deep sense of pride and loyalty towards one's nation. This sentiment can be seen during national celebrations, where people come together to express their love for their country. It is the love for one's own country. This love often manifests in various forms, such as respecting national symbols, participating in national events, and teaching the younger generation about the nation's history and values. When people feel nationalistic, they want their country to be free and independent. This desire for freedom has been a driving force behind many independence movements around the world. They are proud of their culture, language, and history. Nationalism often involves a celebration of a nation's unique cultural heritage, including its traditions, languages, and historical achievements. Nationalism unites people and inspires them to fight for their rights. It creates a sense of solidarity among citizens, motivating them to stand up against oppression and injustice. In India, nationalism emerged during British rule. The oppressive policies and exploitation by the British ignited a strong sense of national consciousness among Indians. Indians realized that British rule was exploiting their country. They saw their resources being drained and their people being treated unfairly, which fueled their desire for self-governance. They wanted to be free from foreign rule and govern themselves. This aspiration led to the rise of numerous freedom fighters who dedicated their lives to the cause of independence. This desire for freedom and self-rule gave birth to Indian nationalism. It became a unifying force that brought together people from different regions, religions, and social backgrounds. It united people from all walks of life. Farmers, workers, students, and intellectuals all joined hands in the struggle for independence, demonstrating the power of collective action. Together, they fought for India's independence. Their relentless efforts and sacrifices eventually led to the end of British colonial rule in 1947. This chapter will explore the journey of Indian nationalism. We will delve into the key events, movements, and figures that played a crucial role in shaping the nation's path to freedom. We will learn about the different movements, leaders, and events that shaped India's struggle for freedom. From the early resistance efforts to the mass movements led by iconic leaders, this chapter will provide a comprehensive understanding of how Indian nationalism evolved and ultimately triumphed. Section 2. The Seeds of Nationalism, Early Stirrings. The journey of Indian nationalism began long before India gained independence. It was a time when the subcontinent was under the yoke of British colonial rule, and the seeds of resistance were being sown in the hearts and minds of its people. Early nationalists were educated Indians. These individuals, often having studied abroad, were exposed to new ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. They returned to India with a vision of a free and self-governing nation. They understood the exploitative nature of British rule. The economic policies of the British were designed to drain India's wealth and resources, leaving the local population impoverished and struggling. They formed groups and organizations to voice their demands for more rights and representation. These early gatherings were the first steps towards a collective national consciousness, where people from different regions and backgrounds came together for a common cause. One such organization was the Indian National Congress, formed in 1885. It became a pivotal platform for discussing and addressing the issues faced by Indians under British rule. The early Congress leaders believed in moderate methods. They sought to achieve their goals through petitions, meetings, and dialogues, hoping to convince the British authorities to grant more autonomy and rights to Indians. They wanted to achieve independence through gradual reforms and dialogue with the British. Their approach was rooted in the belief that rational discourse and peaceful negotiations could lead to meaningful change. However, the British government was slow to respond to their demands. The reluctance of the colonial rulers to make significant concessions led to growing disillusionment among the Indian leaders and the general populace. This led to growing frustration among the Indian people. The slow pace of reforms and the continued exploitation under British rule made it clear that more assertive actions were necessary. The partition of Bengal in 1905 further fueled nationalist sentiments. This divisive act by the British was seen as an attempt to weaken the growing unity among Indians, sparking widespread protests and a surge in nationalist fervor. The stage was set for a more assertive phase in the Indian independence movement. The early stirrings of nationalism had laid a strong foundation, and the Indian people were now ready to take bolder steps towards their ultimate goal of freedom. This early phase of nationalism laid the foundation for the mass movements that would follow. The efforts of these early nationalists inspired future generations to continue the struggle with even greater determination and vigor. It instilled a sense of unity and purpose among the Indian people. The shared dream of an independent India became a powerful force that united people across different regions, religions, and social backgrounds, setting the stage for the eventual triumph of the independence movement. Section 3. Non-Cooperation, A Nation Awakens. The non-cooperation movement, launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1920, marked a turning point in India's struggle for freedom. This movement called upon Indians to withdraw their cooperation from the British government. People boycotted British goods, institutions, and services. Students left government schools and colleges. Lawyers refused to appear in British courts. The movement witnessed widespread participation from people across India. The non-cooperation movement shook the foundations of British rule in India. It demonstrated the power of unity and non-violent resistance. Though the movement was later withdrawn, it left a lasting impact on the Indian psyche. Section 4. The Salt Satyagraha, Defying the Empire. In 1930, Mahatma Gandhi launched the Salt Satyagraha, also known as the Dandi March. This movement challenged the British salt law, which prohibited Indians from making their own salt. Gandhi and his followers marched for 24 days from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi, a coastal village in Gujarat. On reaching Dandi, Gandhi broke the salt law by making salt from seawater. The Salt Satyagraha became a symbol of resistance against British rule. It resonated with people across India, who joined the movement in large numbers. The British government responded with brutal repression, but the spirit of the Indian people remained unbroken. Section 5. The Quit India Movement, A Final Push. The Quit India Movement, launched in 1942, was the final and most decisive phase of India's struggle for freedom. This movement called for an immediate end to British rule in India. Gandhi gave the clarion call of do or die. He urged Indians to fight for their freedom with all their might. The Quit India Movement witnessed widespread protests, strikes, and acts of defiance against the British government. The British responded with brute force, but they could not suppress the overwhelming demand for freedom. The Quit India Movement left the British government shaken and paved the way for India's independence. Section 6. Leaders of the Freedom Struggle Guiding Lights. The Indian independence movement was led by many remarkable leaders. These leaders inspired millions of Indians to fight for their freedom. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, led the movement with his philosophy of non-violent resistance. Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first prime minister, played a key role in shaping India's post-independence policies. Subhas Chandra Bose formed the Forward Bloc and sought support from Axis powers during World War II to achieve India's independence. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a staunch Gandhian, played a crucial role in integrating princely states into India. These leaders, along with countless others, dedicated their lives to the cause of India's freedom. Their sacrifices and contributions will always be remembered. Section 7. The Diverse Faces of Nationalism. Contributions from all corners. The Indian independence movement was a truly national movement, encompassing the vast and varied landscape of the country. It was not confined to a single region or a particular group of people. It saw the participation of people from all walks of life: peasants, workers, tribals, women, students, and intellectuals. Each group brought its unique perspective and strength to the struggle, making it a rich tapestry of collective effort. Peasants, who formed the backbone of Indian society, participated in large numbers in various movements. Their grievances against oppressive land policies and high taxes fueled their fervor for freedom. Workers organized strikes and protests, demanding better working conditions and fair wages. Their industrial actions were crucial in disrupting the economic machinery of the British colonial rule. Tribals, often marginalized and exploited, rose up against British policies that threatened their way of life. Their uprisings were a testament to their resilience and desire to protect their cultural heritage. Women played a crucial role in the freedom struggle. They broke societal norms and stepped into the public sphere, becoming symbols of courage and determination. They participated in protests, boycotts, and picketing. Their involvement was not just limited to support roles, they were at the forefront leading many initiatives. They also provided support to the movement by raising funds, distributing pamphlets, and spreading awareness. Their efforts were instrumental in mobilizing the masses and keeping the spirit of resistance alive. The participation of these diverse groups highlights the inclusive nature of Indian nationalism. It was a collective endeavor that drew strength from its diversity. It was a movement that transcended caste, creed, region, and gender. The unity and solidarity displayed by the people of India were pivotal in achieving independence, showcasing the power of a united front against colonial oppression. Section 8. The Dawn of Freedom, Impact and Legacy. The relentless efforts of the Indian people finally bore fruit on 15 August 1947, when India attained independence. This historic moment marked the end of British rule and the beginning of a new era for India. The Indian independence movement left an enduring legacy on the world. It inspired movements for freedom and civil rights across the globe. The philosophy of non-violent resistance, championed by Mahatma Gandhi, became a powerful tool for social change. The journey of Indian nationalism teaches us the importance of unity, courage, and perseverance in the face of adversity. It serves as a reminder that even the most powerful empires can be challenged and defeated by the collective will of the people. Section 9. Test your knowledge. Previous year questions. 1. What was the main reason for the rise of nationalism in India? 2. Explain the significance of the non-cooperation movement. 3. What was the impact of the Salt Satyagraha? 4. Discuss the role of women in the Indian independence movement. 5. What do you understand by the term Swaraj? 6. How did the Quit India movement lead to India's independence?